What is up, everybody? It's your boy Doody, back again with a new commentary style video. That's right. And Doody, for those that like the commentary style videos, you're going to get two this morning. One, just focusing on the daily wrap, of course, doing our review. And secondly, I decided to do a tutorial for DSP. That's right. Share some knowledge with Phil on the whole new YouTube Jewel system. That's right. Yes, Phil, not Jew, Phil, Jules, okay? Well, anyway, yes, our boy DSP finally enabled the YouTube Jewel system, and I don't know why. I mean, it's been available since like April or May this year for just regular streamers. It was initially something for mobile streamers, and then YouTube expanded it and made it available to any live streamer. So of course, DSP, just like anything else, he didn't bother researching it. He just went haphazardly into this program, accepted the terms, because yes, you actually have to accept terms of service for the Jewel system. It's very similar to the Twitch bit program. And there's actually some information around there that I'm not going to let DSP know because, you know, very much like the Twitch bitch system, DSP ended up getting in trouble for doing things that he shouldn't have done. So I'll let him, you know, figure that out on himself. Maybe maybe this time he'll decide to take 20 minutes and do some initial research. But anyway, that'll be the next video. This video specifically will focus on the daily wrap and what happened during yesterday's streams. And of course, the highlight for DSP is he found another way to fleece his dents out of their money. So let's get into it.
Good evening, everyone. DSP here. Welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Thursday, the 20th of August, 2026. Yet another outstanding, great streaming day here on the channel. Let's talk all about it. So this morning during the DSP morning show, I announced that my channel on YouTube is now compatible with gems. Now, if you have no idea what these are, I don't blame you. Actually, I take it back. They're called jewels, not gems. I'm already confused. They're called jewels, okay? What is a jewel? Well, when someone is live streaming on YouTube, you have the option, if you are on the mobile app only, which means it would have to be like on your phone, okay, to contribute in a different way than a super chat or a membership, you can send jewels. The premise is the same as kicks or bits from other services, you know, kicks for Kick and bits for Twitch. And you buy them, you pre-buy them, and then you basically give them to the streamer, and the streamer keeps 100% of them. Like, there's no cut taken out of the jewels that you send a streamer, okay? So the thing is, the reason that I looked into this and I enabled it is because yesterday, nothing here, a stream chatter said, you know, YouTube has said that they are giving out some free jewels, and a lot of your viewers probably don't even know what they are. If you were to enable them, we could give them to you. I said, okay, well, let's see if I can do that. And it was an annoying process last night to get it going, but it did work overnight. So this morning I announced, hey, you can do it. And immediately people started flooding me with these jewels. The problem was no one knew what the value was. So we had to do some research online, and it appears that jewels are worth half a cent. So let's say, for example, someone sent me 1,000 jewels. Well, that's probably $5 of value. Okay. People flooded me with them early. I ended up making like 50, 60, 70 bucks on the first stream from jewels alone. And in addition, people still supported on Kick. People still tipped. People still did super chats. So first stream already was off to a great start. And then we started with Assassin's Creed Black.
Okay. Just like everything else, DSP has no clue what he's talking about. Yeah, finally he did manage to determine the worth. But it's not that simple, Phil. It's actually more complicated. And if you were to bother to read the terms of service that you have to sign, because when you accept this program, it's part of the YouTube partnership program, you actually have to sign an agreement. You have to sign an agreement. They actually have guidelines, policies, and it is a lot of knowledgeable stuff. Like, they actually tell you what the value is and how it actually works. Where essentially when you receive a jewel, the jewel actually has no monetary value. What that does is it accrues into what's called a ruby, and the ruby has monetary value. But, you know, again, Phil, if you would have bothered doing just 10 seconds, or actually, Phil, if you would have bothered just reading the agreement that you signed for this jewels program, you would have known exactly what you were getting into, but you didn't bother. But again, that's for a separate video, because there is some little pitfalls in that program that DSP, of course, isn't aware of. So I decided, let me just make a little side video on that. So yeah, the funny part was, of course, when he figured out it's not a one-for-one value, so one jewel isn't worth 1 cent. So he ended up thinking he had about $114 in jewels, which he didn't have. It was actually half of that. And the look on his face, you could just tell that he wanted to explode. But you really can't, Phil, because you were the idiot that didn't bother researching this or looking into it and determining exactly what you signed up for. You didn't bother doing that, Phil. So I think he realized that if I come off and I start screaming and yelling about YouTube and the way they implement programs, people are going to push back and say, well, did you bother reading what you signed? Did you bother doing any research before what Phil saw was money. That's all he saw. He was like, oh shit, I could get money. This is a new way to get money. Oh, it's just like bits. It's just like kicks. No, not at all. It's very different, actually. But Phil didn't stop for 1 second to say, how is this going to impact my business, the way people tip me, the way they support me? I'll get into that separate video because there is some pitfalls for it if you actually decide to actually accept jewels. Me, I'm the type of person that, I'm monetized. I don't give a shit. You contribute any way you want to me. I really don't care. Or you don't contribute at all. I really don't personally care. I don't track donos. I really don't give a shit. But people like DSP, they count every single penny that comes in, because of course every penny they have is accounted for. Especially with Phil, everything is either accounted for WWE champions, Pokemon cards, or DoorDash. Okay, so let's keep going.
Flag resync. Great progress yet again today. Without spoiling too much, again, we rescued a pirate. He became a captain. We were teaming up with him to do some missions. Some of my crew is skeptical about working with this guy. They don't know if they trust him, but we continued on. And basically, by the end of that stream, we were at around 75% story progress. 73, 75, we're just right around there, okay? This is what I expected because we had started at like 62, and I'm noticing every stream is around 10 to 15% progress in the story when we focus on it. We primarily did story. I think we maybe did one side thing the whole time. For the most part, it was just major story, okay? By the end of the stream, we had gotten great support. I want to say we were at like 220 something of support. So we ended up doing 4 pack rips of One Piece Royal Blood cards. We got a hit. However, it wasn't a great hit. It was a cheaper hit, like $6-7. Still a nice looking card, and I was happy to get my first hit in the box because that technically was my first hit in the box. Although, admittedly, a lot of duplicates, and I'm wondering if this particular set of cards either is a very low card count, meaning it's a smaller deck, a smaller set than the others I've opened, or maybe
And nobody cares. Nobody cares. All right. You know what? The one thing I failed to mention when I was rambling on about the jewels, and of course DSP didn't talk about it either, was during yesterday's podcast, he had 3 major crash outs. That's right. One crash out was in reference to, of course, the jewel system. The second crash out was Keto Casino crash out. That went on for 17 minutes of him just non-stop crashing out, trying to reinforce that the King Snake arc was true. Basically called Andy a crackhead, called PPP autistic, just went on, and it was glorious. And by the way, yes, Keto Casino is aware of it. It'll probably be part of their show today, a good segment of it. And Phil loves that when they spend an hour, 2 hours on their show just focusing directly on DSP, and that's what they're going to do tonight. Trust me. Well, you'll see. It'll be glorious. It will be glorious because, of course, DSP decided to make it very personal. Those attacks were actually very personal, and you could say a lot you could say a lot about Andy and stuff like that, but really, do you have to do a low blow and talk about his stuttering and blame it on his past drug abuse? I mean, that was a bit low, Phil, really, you know what I mean? But of course, DSP doesn't give a shit. He'll attack anyone. And, it just blows this whole narrative and mantra that DSP tries to say that he's a good guy. He doesn't want to hurt anyone. Yeah, okay, all right, sure. Whenever you say something about Phil, no matter how minute or mild it is, he goes for the juggler, right, Phil? Right? Man, if I'm going to attach that video to this video so you can check it out, it was some pretty nasty shit in there. He really went personal. Everyone, I know with Phil who said, well, people go personal with me. Yeah, people joke about your looks and people, but again, Phil, it's just playing around and making fun of you. It's not really malicious for the most part, but you take it as a personal attack. And if someone just remotely attacks you in any way, you feel like you need to just attack back. And not only just attack back, but get vicious about it. But anyway, I'll leave that. Tonight should be pretty good on Keto Casino, which is always great. And then, of course, he, did his gameplay, which no one cared about. Barely had 200 people on that goddamn stream. Even the view bot has kind of tampered down because no one's watching. I mean, the view bot before was there just to make Phil... just to piss Phil off because he was happy that he was getting about 350 views per stream. after Raw Phil went down, and of course that's back to normal views. I mean, he's pushing 200 if he's lucky. So what else did he do? Oh, of course, he attacked detractors. He blamed detractors for why his business failed. He attacked detractors for why he didn't blow up. It's just he's just spiraling. It seems like every day he has a litany of just a litany of excuses and gripes that he just goes off and starts yelling at people. I really thought we were gonna get a 220 attack, and we did a quick minute, but I think he caught himself because he realized he was spiraling. So we didn't get a full-on 220 crash out. We may get one today though.
Just got really lucky with unique pulls the first few packs because there's so many duplicates now. Second stream tonight was the continuation of Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. Tonight we did a ton yet again. We basically finished up the Terra mission and recruited Terra back to the party. We went out and found Cyan and did a whole big dungeon to get to him. We took on Death Gaze, which is the new version of Doom Gaze from the original game. It was a pain. It took over almost 30 minutes to get him because of the new way that they built him into this Pixel Remaster version is more annoying. So it took a while to do, but we got that done. What else? Geez, we did a lot today. We went to Narsh. And in Narsh, we did the initial, first part. We recruited Mog. Then we went north. We fought a Super Dragon boss. We actually fought Tritok, who's not called Tritok anymore. They renamed it. So we did a lot today. Got a lot of good new items and weapons. Got some really good new espers. Learned some new spells and abilities. Awesome stuff. Great stream. Lots of people showing up. Very engaged and support. Once again, outstanding. Almost $300 of support. So tonight on DSP Pack Rips, we opened 5 packs of One Piece plus 2 packs of Mega Dream EX.
Okay, just to talk about that real quick. So apparently he settled on the 150 anonymous tip. Before that, it was 50. Like, there was a period of time where he just did $50 anonymous tips because he thought maybe that would be believable. And then, of course, he was pushing this whole briefcase of affluence, right? And then, of course, the support dwindled even more, so he had to bump that up to 100. And then everyone called him out and said, oh, those are fake tips. It's the same person. It's always anonymous. No one believes you. And then, of course, he had to vary the donation amount, and now he settled on 150, and that's what happened yesterday, folks. He ended up getting a $150 anonymous tip with some it's so funny because he can't even look at the screen, he can't even look at the camera when he has to fake this donation. It's so pathetic, and he's like not enthusiastic about it because he knows no one believes him, but he has to cope. He has to cope and see because he has to continuously play this narrative that he's successful and that people like him, and it doesn't matter, he's gonna always win. And it's just quite sad and pathetic. You know what? It's really interesting. Even the core people that like Phil, because there is a small core of people that like Phil on his streams, they don't even believe it. I was watching the stream last night, and when that 150 fake tip came out, like the hardcore dens were rolling their eyes and laughing because they knew it was fake. You know what I mean? And again, you don't go from barely hitting $100 on average per stream to hitting $250 per stream. It just doesn't happen, Phil. It really doesn't. I don't give a shit how many people you think like you opening up card packs. Come on, bro. There's like probably 5 individuals on your whole in the whole whatchamacallit that actually like these card packs. For the most part, most of your viewers think it's annoying and it's overbearing and you talk about it way too much. And every time you bring it up and you talk about how you talk about the guidelines for supporting the C card packs, people just tune the fuck out. They're like, oh god. You know what I mean? But he's already hooked. He's beyond hooked. He went from Pokemon cards to Magic the Gathering. He's opening up One Piece. It doesn't matter what it is. He doesn't even give a shit what type of card it is. If it's in foil and has a hollow foil, he's going to open it up. He's going to rip that shit up. He's going to buy it. He doesn't give a shit. And again, like most people when they get into these card pack opening things, like they typically select one IP. You know what I mean? They don't bounce around and buy every single IP out there. That's beyond addiction, Phil. But here we have Phil opening up every single card pack. Some of it is because of scarcity, and he starts getting that itch. He starts getting that neck itch whenever he doesn't have a Pokemon card pack or 3 or 4 to have readily open. So he's moved on to other to other IPs. And that's insane, man. I mean, I calculated, and I put a post out there that the man is already over $10,000 in Pokemon card packs, the boxes, since April, and a lot of that is due to him buying the premium ones. He's buying the scalp ones, which on average cost between $300 and $400. You know, and that's not even talking about anything that he may have bought for himself off stream. I mean, we're just talking about the ones that he's mentioned. He's already over at 10,000, and also that God pack and the Greninja. You know, more than likely he probably bought those as well. So he probably paid a premium for those cards just because, you know, he's addicted. You know, and then his wall of autism back there, he really thinks that has value. Someone asked him yesterday, oh, how much do you think it's worth? And he's like, oh, it's over $2,000. I'm sorry, Phil. First of all, it's not worth anything because you're not going to sell any of it. The other thing too is if you actually wake up one day and say, all right, well, I need some money for gin or whatever, and you go to a card store pack, you'll be lucky if you get 40 cents to the dollar for the value of those cards. You really think they're going to give you what the TCG app says it's worth? No, they're going to give you maybe 40 to 50 cents or 50% of the card value, and then they're going to sell it for an up price. That's how things work in the TCG. So if you think it's worth $2,000, it's more than likely probably worth about $500 or $600. But it's not worth anything because you're not going anywhere and you're not going to sell it. Those cards, those binders, that shit's going to end up collecting dust, sitting in your fucking closet. And 10 years from now, you're gonna take them out with your fucking GameCube and all that other shit that you got in your closet, and you're gonna reminisce. You're gonna try to create a theme like you did for Investments Day. You're gonna call it, I guess, Pokemon Card Day, where you go back and you know, regale the days of your autism for Pokemon cards. Watch, if anyone's still around, just, you know, bookmark this video, and in 10 years from now, if DSP is still around, we'll be laughing at that though. All right, that's really it. There's nothing else going on. I really don't care about the rest of this. This was just 7 minutes of waste, and you know what, I'm gonna cut it short. That's right. I know I went over my 15-minute mark, but whatever. Peace out, everyone.